First, though, one of the world's biggest paper groups, International Paper, completed a $1.5 billion joint venture with Russian forestry firm Ilim Friday. It marks the largest investment into the sector. Now, as Natasha Shanyetskaya reports, experts say other foreign investors are likely to follow as they look for sectors the state doesn't deem strategic.
International Paper paid about $650 million for a 50% stake in Russia's biggest timber and pulp company, Ilim Holding. The partners will invest an additional $1.5 billion in Ilim's 4 pulp mills over the next few years. Ilim's head Zakhar Smushkin told Business Today the joint venture will focus on value-added products, such as uncoated papers, packaging, and high-quality carton.
It's when we really remove of the company in the retail sector. It's very important for us because it's necessary for the moment. And I think this market is really growing.
The investment is the first of its size in the sector and is likely to stimulate other foreigners to look for Russian partners, analysts say.
As a result of the so-called timber wars, the sector's structure has become more transparent and risks of entering the market decreased, so the timing is not coincidental.
Russia's timber and paper sector has a huge potential. The country accounts for more than 20% of the world's forests. Its timber reserves total 82 billion cubic meters, compared to its closest rival Brazil with 71 billion, and far ahead of the United States, which has roughly 31 billion. But when it comes to paper and carton production, Russia is in 13th spot with just 7 million tons a year, well behind the United States, which produces 81 million annually. Following President Putin's call to invest more in processing, the government this year boosted export duties on raw timber, aiming to stimulate local producers to focus on value-added products. Natasha Shanyetskaya, Russia Today.
And for more on this, I'm joined now by Mary Lassinger, Senior Vice President of International Paper. Mary, very good of you to join us. Let's talk output. You know, 45% of what you produce roughly goes to China, 30% here in Russia, and the rest elsewhere. How is that ratio likely to change now the deal's been inked?
Well, we would anticipate that ratio changing, where we would be producing and consuming more of the total production within Russia, because the strategic plan for the joint venture is to invest in developing higher valued products that will be consumed in the retail sector here in Russia. An exact percentage today is difficult to predict. I'll just share with you from our current operations in Russia, about 90% of what we produce, which is higher valued products in Russia today, do stay in Russia.
Let's talk the country's printing industry. That's a specific little niche area that has long suffered from Finnish competition, publishing going over there to be printed. How's this deal likely to see potentially a return and a fostering of the domestic printing industry?
Well, for the printing industry, you need the higher grade papers in order to print high quality print. And so with the production being domestic for the inputs for the printers, I would believe that it would encourage investment in the printing sector, because they can get or purchase their raw materials domestically. So we would anticipate an improvement in that sector as well.
In terms of this deal that's taken 3 years to negotiate, you've spoken of cultural differences, having to overcome those as part of the process. What exactly were you talking about?
Well, first of all, I should tell you that we operate in many countries around the world, and the cultural differences exist no matter what region of the world we operate in. We've spent a lot of time getting to know our partners. I think the biggest challenge is that International Paper is a global company, and we're also very transparent because we're a public company, versus the Russian Ilim company has been a private business, and so it's taken us quite some time to develop understanding of how best to proceed with the operation of the company. So we have worked through those things in the last year and feel very comfortable with where we're at, and are very confident that we will succeed.
How confident are your shareholders going to be in terms of seeing a return, the fruit of this investment? You've paid out a large sum, in fact the largest sum ever, to get this deal sealed.
Yes.
When are they going to see the dividends, literally, on the investment?
Well, today, as you've seen in the press, Ilim Group is generating about $400 million in EBITDA in 2007. So it is already a significant return on the investment. We So our shareholders, I think, in general, will be very pleased with the investment approach that we've taken.
Mr. Faraci, CEO John Faraci, of course, spoken about increasing ownership in this JV. Potentially, one assumes you'd like to own the whole thing outright. I mean, one wonders why you didn't go for that originally. Why not?
Well, we did an assessment of what we wanted to do in the region. It is a significant commitment by International Paper for this growth in the region, and we felt it was better suit our interest to join in with Ilim Group, who's got a strong, solid presence. They are the best pulp and paper company and the largest in Russia today, and we felt that the two of us together could generate more value faster versus each of us doing it independently.
Got you. All right, Mary, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
It's Mary Lattinger, Senior Vice President at International Paper, here in the studio joining us. Let's move on. Talk coal, because the Russian coal and steel group Metals placed a winning bid Friday of $2.3 billion for the world's largest untapped coal field. Now, Russia's Federal Property Fund auctioned the assets located